Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell if you love to watch more cheating stories. If you want to know how to get back your ex-girlfriend and boyfriend, click the link below.
Need some outside perspective. TL. Dr. My fiance, with whom I have an otherwise great relationship with, told me he has cheated on me 4 times in our relationship, as recently as this past weekend. I love him but don't know what to do. How can I respect myself and also stay with him? When he gets bored of her, and he will since he is used to getting new married women all the time, she will try to crawl back to you. Don't fall for it. My fiance, 27 meters. Partner of 6 years just told me, 26F, that he has cheated on me 4 times throughout our relationship. The first 2 times were when we were going through a hard time, long distance 5 years ago. He just made out with them, felt each other up, or so he says. Both those people are people we know, hang out with, and are in the same social circles, so I feel humiliated and betrayed from more than one side. He says he stopped them from having sex both times. The third time was about 3 weeks ago when he was out of town and he says they were dancing at a party and it didn't go further than the first 2 times. But then this past weekend he slept with someone when he was out of town, full sex. The reason he finally had to come clean is because he may have gotten an STD, even though he claims he used protection. He says he was planning on talking to his therapist about it tomorrow, even before the STD thing happened, and making a plan for telling me ASAP. He says he felt this was the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of telling me because it was the first time, according to him, that he actually had sex. Obviously, not sure what to believe. He says he feels he self-destructs when going through big life changes. The first 2 times he had just started grad school and we were suddenly super long distance, our relationship felt very rocky. The second 2 times were in the past month, following the big life change of getting engaged. This should come as no surprise, he is a major flirt, and there have been times where I have felt he may be cheating and have confronted him about it. At one point in our relationship, we were open, but he broke one of our rules, hooking up with someone in our social circle, and didn't tell me until about a year and a half later, at which point, I now know, he had already fully cheated 2 times, before we experimented with being open. After he broke the rule I would try to bring it up. I wanted to talk about what happened, and he would get annoyed at me for wanting to talk about it more. When are we going to be able to drop this? Etc. Last year I felt he was cheating on me with his friend, which he still insists he never has, and confronted him about it and how I still felt it was very difficult to trust him after not really resolving much when he broke the rule. We got into a huge fight and he gaslighted me, blamed my apparent insecurity for feeling he had been unfaithful, etc. He says now that that was because he just felt so bad about what I didn't know that he didn't want to talk about it at all. He says he felt so guilty and wanted to tell me, but kept deciding not to because of how upset I was about breaking the rule, a lesser offense than fully cheating. He said he was so sure it would be the end of our relationship and that he desperately did not want to lose me. He went to a therapist, who told him that if he felt he could live with it and was sure it would end our relationship, that maybe he should just keep it to himself. As far as I can tell, hard to trust anything right now. He feels really, really horrible about it. Lots of remorse. He has been sobbing, said he experienced suicidal ideation because of his behavior, says he loves me more than anything and just wants to fix it, has always wanted to tell me, will do anything to save our relationship. That has been his primary reaction. There has also been a bit of justification. We were drinking a lot, cheating was made normal to me from a young age. But definitely to a much lesser extent than the remorse. He grew up around men who cheated on their wives constantly. Saw his parents having sex many times with many different partners at a very young age. They cheated on each other. When he was young he touched a few girls against their will. This has been resolved already from the women's perspective. He feels suicidal due to this, calls himself a monster. I'm not a psychologist but have a feeling that he has experienced some sexual trauma, maybe that he doesn't remember yet. And all this behavior is a result of that. Doesn't make it okay of course, but just to paint the full picture. He says that he compartmentalizes when he does these things. At the same time though he said both of the women he hooked up with in the past month knew he had a partner, but that he had told them that we were open. So how compartmentalized is it really? We aren't open, but I have told him in the past that if he's out of town and wants to fool around with someone he can ask me and we can talk about it. Same rules go for me. We are very communicative about the fact that everyone in long-term relationships sometimes wants to sleep with other people, etc. That's part of what makes this so unbelievable. I don't get why he wouldn't just ask me. We have a beautiful life together and besides this, he is generally a wonderful partner. As we've basked in the glow of our engagement these past couple months, I've felt so grateful for him. We're really such a good match. I love him so much and I know he loves me. But I don't know what to do, stay or leave, because I don't know which person to trust, believe. The person who has cheated on me and kept it from me for years, gaslit me hardcore when I instinctually felt something was wrong, continues to cheat, etc. Or the person who says he'll do anything, he loves me, that finally telling me and having started consistent therapy are the things that will change everything. He feels he's a monster, he wants to change so badly. Please help me see this situation more clearly. Here are the best comments, advices that I gathered for this wonderful story. You just got engaged and the man has already cheated on you multiple times. He is a liar and is completely untrustworthy. This is who he is. He is not a loving partner because loving partners do not lie, cheat, gaslight, etc. He put your health at risk. It doesn't matter what he says now, you know from his actions that you cannot trust him, ever. You're really not going to like the majority of the advice you'll get on here, which will be to leave him. This is a man who has, even by his own admission, cheated on you in a series of events which have escalated each time: kissing, hands, sex. If he is simply lying to you, then that's 4 counts of sex. Both are as bad as each other. If the former is true, it shows that over time he will continue a bad behavior and allow it to progress. The fact that it was 4 separate opportunities to reflect on how it's a bad decision, betrayal, but then go ahead and do it and even go further than before shows a complete disregard for the sanctity of your relationship. That even when you were open, he shirked the rules and hid it from you too. If he reacts to difficult life changes, wait until the wedding, then wait until buying a house, wait until the hard times in marriage, which are numerous. Or when you have kids, who constantly change and strain your life, but as parents you just deal with it because you love them. It's going to happen again and again. How many counts of cheating until you draw the line? What's your limit? 6? 8? 10 plus? Are you going to draw the line after you've had kids and end up stuck with a custody battle and asset division? I will also add that opening the relationship at some point gave him some sense that he was allowed, entitled to do things with others. I know you hear a lot from people on the internet about how open relationships improve things, but a majority of the time they don't. They expose underlying issues and frequently cause destruction. He grew up around seeing people cheat, then was presented with the option of being able to see other people whilst still in his relationship. This has just reinforced everything he's known, wondered his whole life about multiple partners. It will be hard to undo a lifetime of conditioning followed up with reinforcement. If you think he can and will suddenly change for the better because you're getting married, think again. This whole sub is filled with stories of people in a situation like yours, and majority of them didn't end happily together. I suggest you read a bunch of other posts around here for some perspective. You're blinded by the idea of your happy ever after in which this person is perfect and will never make a mistake or bad decision again. This is a lie. You're on a very, very slippery slope here and he's already slid way past you. You've got to seek some therapy for yourself and determine if you must cut the cord to survive. He has cheated a lot and you are not even married yet. And you let him get away with it. So, he knows there are no consequences and he will continue. Monogamy is only for you. He is entitled to do as he pleases. And whatever you know is only the tip of the iceberg. He is also a liar. He lies often and can do it right to your face. This will continue too. He has no problem keeping things secret from you. He has told you in every possible way he can that he is not ready for monogamy or marriage. He has showed you consistently that it won't work. Even when you backpedal and make the rules easier for him. He doesn't cope well with life in general and has lots of excuses. Marriage and kids will just give him more of them. If you stay engaged and get married, his cheating will define your life. You deserve better than that. Your marriage is going to be a total shit show. Please do not have a family. Kids shouldn't grow up in the chaos you two create. Can you live with a husband who cheats on you and exposes you to STDs? Can you live with a husband who might get another woman pregnant? If yes, then proceed. If not, break it off, regardless of heartache. Just figure out some basic questions about what cheating men do, and ask yourself if you're okay with it. This is really a simple equation. How he grew up, what he was influenced by, is just so much superfluous information. The question is what you are willing to live with and what you aren't. This is about your choices, not his. If you want to be a doormat, go ahead. Sounds harsh, but that's the question. You can marry him, but he's going to continue to cheat on you. He wouldn't have even told you if not for the STD scare and the just making bees as bees. Everything is great except that he can't keep it in his pants. He is intelligent enough to self-diagnose as to why he cheats, but not intelligent enough to know he shouldn't do it. Seems like the biggest pile of you know what I've ever heard. Life is full of big events. Will each one be a trigger for him to cheat? The better question is, are you willing to stick around for the next time, because there will be a next time. Unless he is willing to ditch any all-female friends as well as never going out of town without you again, you can't stay. He is lying about how far it went before, and if he didn't have an STD scare you wouldn't know about this time either. He will not stay faithful to you. And guaranteed he fucked the friends he says he didn't as well as others. It's up to you if you stay, but he is a serial cheater and they don't stop. Just to add, if life changes cause him to cheat, he will be cheating all during wedding planning, his bachelor party, while you're pregnant, etc. Is that something you can live with? And you're absolutely wrong. Monogamous people have no trouble staying monogamous. It's not inevitable that you will want to fuck someone else. You might find others attractive, but you should never get close enough to someone else to activate lying want to fuck them. The first thing is to respect yourself. If you don't, who will? They betray her in a great lack of respect, and with actions she shows that she does not love you. When there is love, open relationships do not work out. Someone always gets hurt. It has nothing to do with being mature or broad-minded. A man who Anna Janas would allow his partner to sleep with another. You are young, you will find a man who truly loves you, and the most important, that she will respect you, and she will make you feel a woman worthy of being loved. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Stay tuned for more cheating